Good afternoon, welcome back to Fujitsu Forum TV, where we continue to bring you noisy coverage of events here at Forum 2019. You can tell the keynote's finished, can't you? Everyone's back in the digital transformation zone. Hopefully, the noise around us doesn't cut across this interview too much. We'll do our best to make ourselves heard. Next, we're turning our attention to government and a citizen-centric digital transformation agenda. Viewers last year, you may remember how we had the brilliant team from Estonia come along and talk to us about the excellence that they were achieving. We had the advisor to the Estonian government, Martin Kavijat, spilling the beans on everything that they had achieved in the preceding year and the great success that had come their way. This year, we're going to be discussing Finland, who have their own level of success, having just ranked #1 in a digital survey. With me to explain all is Maria Nikkila. I do hope I pronounced your surname right. I'm bound to have got it wrong. Director of Digitization Unit, Ministry of Finance of Finland, and Hemminki. Oh my goodness.
Saaksjarvi.
Thank you so much. I get stitched up with this all the time. Head of Public Sector here at Fujitsu. Thank you both for coming along. Well, this is a really simple question to start. What has been the secret behind the success? Because this is brilliant news.
I think the main thing behind our success is the trust, because people in Finland, they trust the government, they trust in digital services, and they are willing to use them. So that's the kind of main thing, that they will use them and that they can be widely used in Finland. And of course, building those services, we have common infrastructure and common architecture to build those services, and then certain shared services that all public organizations use, so then we have infrastructure which allows us to build good services.
That's really interesting. Martin said the same thing in Estonia. And the key point that he made was that he was telling us about the Facebook apps that were being used, Facebook Messenger. I cannot imagine Facebook Messenger being used in the UK around digital services. Why do you think the public trust so much over in Finland? Because this is excellent news.
Well, I think we haven't disappointed them. Never. So, and at least we don't use the Messenger app. I think the idea that we create this kind of tools, people really can trust that we have this kind of digital post which is made by the public authorities, and it's a secure way to interact with the public authorities, both municipalities and the government. So not the Facebook, but good services.
What's the aim of the digital government in Finland? What's the bigger picture goal for you guys?
We are trying to build, of course, good services, high quality services, which are based on the life events of the citizens, so they can as easily as possible to find the right service at the right time in their life. So that would be no big mess when you are looking for the services, and which kind of organization provides that service. That kind of service comes to you when you need it.
I mean, can we hear the term citizen-centric digital government? There'll be people hearing it for the first time, believe it or not. Just help us understand, what does that mean and how does it help?
Yeah, so basically it means that you think about services from a citizen point of view. So quite typically when we talk about digital government, it's about making the officials, public servants' work better, easier, more productive. But it's not the full picture. So if you kind of forget the citizens and put them first and think about the processes and workflows from their point of view, how it's easy for them to use the services and so on. So that's the key here.
What are the best examples of citizen-centric? Where has the success been? I mean, you must have done a lot of thinking around citizen first when you were planning your agenda.
Well, if I put myself first and thinking about services I have lately used, which are good, of course, my tax is very good service, because I don't have to do anything. Usually they got all information automatically, and then I just check, okay, this is fine, and then I hope I get some money back, not have to pay more, but usually that's very, very strict counting.
So it's pretty much automated?
Yeah, that's very automated. And one thing we have, and I think we are only nation in the world who have this kind of e-authorization service that I can act behalf of somebody. I can act behalf of my kids, I can act behalf of my mother, or I can act behalf of company if I'm representative of a company, so that you can use that quite many digital services, and for example all pharmacies in Finland accept this kind of digital authorization document that I can use my EID card, and then I can have my kids' medicine when I go there, because they can check I have a right to act on behalf of them.
I can imagine there's viewers in Britain and Germany right now falling over thinking, why is it so difficult for us to get our taxes done? So it's obviously possible to deliver excellent digital transformation. For some of the countries who've possibly got more citizens, who may be looking at it thinking, well, it's okay, small country, fewer citizens. Is that a fair comment, or should they be trying to deliver what you've done? Because you've proven it works, right?
Well, we think same thing about the Estonians, that they have a small country. But well, I think you can do it in also larger scale and bigger country, because the idea is the same. We have also municipalities which is quite independent. They have their own services, and we have chosen that we made legislation to create this kind of system that all parties had to be in and include. And this is the way how we can make the change, that using kind of soft and hard methods to create the digitalization platform for all nations.
A question for both of you. We're hearing a lot about artificial intelligence for good reason. How do we see AI being applied within government over the next couple of years? Where do you think it'll make a difference?
We have no idea where we will make the difference, but actually we are starting a big AI program to find out more about that, because of course there are ethical issues, there are technical issues, and then there's issues about how we create the kind of concept or system, how we handle this kind of life events for people, citizens, and also the companies, and when they are interacting with the government or the private sector, and how we can help it with the AI, both the citizen and the public sector authorities work. So that's something we are building on right now, and we call it Aurora AI, and that will be, I think, the first this kind of program in Europe, and at least probably in the whole world.
I find it interesting that you mentioned ethics. You've clearly got a trusted environment and wanting to look after that trust. And I know there's a lot of questions that viewers will have around AI and its ethics application. You're dead right. Hemminki, where are we going to see AI impacting government over the next couple of years? What do you think?
Yeah, so I think there has been a lot of talk about AI, like also in a theoretical way a bit, and I guess that's important to get the understanding first, but now it's time to have some concrete services and examples. So I think that's the key thing, to start experimenting more and having some real services. It can be like improving customer service or service for citizens, like chatbots. It can be speech recognition. It can be like text analytics to understand what the customer citizens are talking about. One of the quite exciting example we have done with a health district in Finland is about analyzing data to identify young people who have a risk of being excluded from society. So collecting different types of information to understand which patterns kind of lead to exclusion, which is of course a personal disaster or problem and costs a lot of money to government. So these kinds of things, AI-related things are appearing, and we just need more examples.
I'm interested to hear how Fujitsu's been helping the journey on digital transformation. Just give us an insight into what Fujitsu's been doing.
Yeah, well, the one I just mentioned, I think that is one of the recent ones and really exciting examples. So how we can use AI from that point of view. Another maybe a bit older, more traditional even example is so-called Kanta service, which is personal health record. So you as a citizen, you can log on to the system online, you can see all your health-related data there. So if you go to a doctor, whether it's private or public, whatever, so then the information is stored in that repository. So anyone can access that. Your prescriptions are there. So e-prescription is one of the key elements. Your well-being type of data is there. So Fujitsu has been developing that, and I think that is one of the great examples we have been involved in. And there are many others, but I guess there's no time to talk about all of them.
Well, if you want to find out more, hashtag Fujitsu Forum TV, we'll get you connected so you can continue the conversation. There'll be a lot of government officials watching this thinking, okay, we knew we had a bit of a job to do with digital transformation. You've just helped us realise we've got a far bigger job to do if we're going to emulate what you've achieved. If you had one message for those viewers to help them on their journey, what would it be?
Well, be brave and try. And
I love that.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be fearful of, is there?
No, I don't think that it's the failing fast issue, that you have to try, and is somebody working, then continue. It's not working, then stop and do something else. I think we have done amazing work with the agile methods, using open source code, working together. I think the cooperation between different kind of public organization has been the key word for that. So I think, and then aim high, because that's the main thing.
I think sometimes people are really nervous, but I love the fact that you're championing. No, go for it. Think big, dream big. What do you think, Hemminki? If you had one piece of advice, what would it be?
Yeah, so I agree with Maria. So it's about experimenting and just making things happening, and then maybe fail and then do something different. So that's important.
Genuinely, thank you both for coming along and speaking to us. I imagine you might have some questions coming your way. I bet that's piqued the interest of a few of you. And we're going to continue to bring you insight. We've got a mission on Fujitsu Forum TV, haven't we, to look at the very problems your business or your citizens are facing. Next, we're going to give you a real-world use case of how blockchain has made a fundamental difference. Rice is one of the oldest commodities that's been traded. It's come from a place where it's quite an antiquated system, but blockchain has now moved it into the 21st century, and we're going to be speaking with Frederick de Broek, who heads up the Centre of Excellence for Blockchain here at Fujitsu, and he's bringing the Rice Exchange with him. We're going to hear all about this one next. What time are we at? It's 3:14. We'll be back live at 3:30 Central European time. Join us for that. Thanks for watching.